find the damn app. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Shelly Speaks Truth, right here on twooffertv.tv. If you are here for the first time, welcome and thank you very much for being here. Now tonight, I do want to discuss and shed some light on the reparations bill that was supposed to be passing in California a few days ago. And I just want to give a shout out to the people of California, the Reparations Task Force, for working vigorously to even have this to become a bill in the first place. Our people out there have really been putting in some work over the years, and they deserve to be recognized for their hard work and efforts. Although this bill did not pass, surely their work does not go unnoticed, so I would just want to take a moment to recognize them. Now, I believe we may be streaming on a few other platforms, but we won't be doing that for the entire show. So around here, what we do is we stream on those platforms for a little bit, and then if you want to see the entirety of the show, you have to come over to twooffertv.tv, where you'll be able to see the duration of the show. And again, that is the number 2, raw, the number 4.tv. Now, before we get completely into what we'll be discussing tonight, I do want to say this, and I want to put a special focus into this tonight, because a lot of us, what we do as Black people, unfortunately, is we get caught up in symbolism and what I like to call, and what many others call, Black faces in high places. So when we see someone who looks like us get into a position of power, we don't challenge them in the ways that we should. And we're kind of just happy with seeing someone who looks like us, especially when it comes to politics. And I really feel like that has been a detriment to our community, because we will vote for these people based on identity politics, and we'll put them into office strictly based on the fact that they are Black. And over the years, as we can see, that has not benefited us at all. And that's something that I really, really want to focus on, because it's something, honestly, that we need to stop doing. And I'm happy to see that a lot of us have began to wake up to that. You know, we can't just vote for people because they're Black. We have to, they have to have policies that are going to be benefiting the community, and they have to have policies that we are aligned with as Black people. And again, like I said, unfortunately, for so many decades now, we have basically just been voting for people based on the fact that they are Black, and we don't really require for them to do anything for us. And as Black people, it really pains me to say this, but just in general, politicians in general, we have not been holding them accountable in the ways that we should. But that has changed. And I'm very happy to say that in 2024, that we are saying gone are the days that we will just show up and vote for people that aren't promising us anything for our communities, because as we all know, politics is about resources and how they're going to be distributed. And that is it. You don't go and vote for people because you like the way they talk, because they make you feel good, and because they give you hope. And that's what we've been doing in our community, unfortunately, for a very long time. But as I stated, I'm happy to see that that is starting to change in 2024, especially with it being an election cycle. We're finally saying we've been voting one way for a very long time. It has not really worked out for us, and now we're looking to do something different. We're looking to really be a voter bloc that is hyper-focused on policies and tangibles that are going to directly benefit our community. Now, not all Black people have been happy about that. You have your Roland Martins of the world, your D.L. Hughie's of the world, your Steve Harvey's of the world, and others that are shouting down on the Black community and telling us that we need to get behind the current presidential nominee, Kamala Harris, because she is a Black woman. And what we are saying in return to that is no, we are not going to continue to engage in identity politics. We want something for our community. And one of the things that the Black community has been asking for and calling for is reparations. That has been a very hot button issue for years now, because it's to my understanding that this reparations task force got the ball rolling on this in 2019. And here we are in 2024, where the bills, were finally supposed to be seeing the light of day. And unfortunately, majority of them were stopped in their tracks. So to get started, I just want to read a quick article to shed some light on, what the California Legislative Black Caucus is saying happened. They pretty much want to shift the blame over to the governor, and I don't feel like we should allow them to get away with that. But before I elaborate on that, I do want to just quickly read this article, like I said, to give a little bit of insight on what happened and, why they're saying things didn't pan out the way that people intended for them to pan out. So this article goes on to say, why did a bill to create state reparations agency, the centerpiece of California's initial attempt to introduce legislation to repair harm endured by Black Californians, fail? Bill SB 1403 would have formed the California American Freedmen's Affairs Agency to administer reparations programs. The bill faced little opposition from lawmakers as it moved through committees earlier in the session. But last-minute pressure from Governor Gavin Newsom's staff to change SB 1403 divided Black lawmakers and stalled the bill. Instead of creating the agency, the amendments proposed earmarking $6 million for California State University system to lead a study of reparations, according to State Senator Stephen Raffer, the bill's author. SB 1403 was one of 14 bills prioritized by the California Legislative Black Caucus that were drawn from 2 years of work by the California Reparations Task Force. The first statewide body to study reparations issued its final report in June of 2023. QEED has been following the state's reparations work since the task force inception, and creating a state agency to house reparations programs was one of the task force's first policy recommendations. It was the bedrock, Bradford said. If you don't have the agency that stands up, all of this is for nothing. This was the first year that the bills explicitly labeled as part of the reparations effort were introduced. 9 of the CLBC's priority bills passed, including requiring a formal apology from the state for perpetuating harmful racial prejudice and discrimination. A 10th bill, a companion measure to proposal placed on the November ballot that seeks to remove language from the state constitution that allows involuntary servitude as punishment for criminal offenses, has already been signed by Newsom. Okay, so that's just the crux of it right there. I don't have to read the entire thing. But again, I'm going to read this last part because this is one of the most significant parts of the bill. It goes on to say, many of the bills were significantly watered down, and proposals for more direct relief to Californians were either shelved or, in the case of direct cash payments, was never introduced at all. And that is the one that has caused massive protests and, just a landslide of commotion in the state's capital, because those cash payments was the most important part of the bill, and that is the part of the bill that was never introduced to be voted on so that Governor Newsom could sign it into law. The Black Caucus did not even go to the floor with the direct cash payments, and they're saying that there were some amendments that Newsom's staff wanted them to include that caused them to, have this last-minute riffraff. And I personally don't believe that, and I don't think that that matters. I think that they should have still went forward with the bill and did what they had to do to get it on Newsom's desk so that they could say, we did our part, we got it passed, and now it's been sent to the governor for him to either sign or veto. They did not do that, and I personally feel like they did that to provide cover for Governor Newsom, because these people, at the end of the day, and this is just my opinion, I don't feel like they have the best interest of the collective black community in mind. I feel like they're content with their little positions that they have, you know, pretty much kissing up to white liberals and, you know, individually having their comfortable positions and comfortable lifestyles, while, you know, a large portion of black society is struggling. And again, they had everything that they needed to pass these bills. And unfortunately, the most significant, important parts of these bills were not even brought up to be voted on. And to me, that is sickening. It is a slap in the face to their constituents and the people that put them in office. It's a slap in the face to their people. It's a slap in the face to our ancestors and the crimes that were committed against our people, even to this very day. So again, I personally feel like, you know, this is just a prime example of, even when we have people from our communities that are put into these positions, it is not a guarantee that these people are going to go and advocate on our behalves and use their political power to actually do anything progressive for the black community. And this is a prime example of that, with these people not even introducing the most important part of the bill to receive a vote. Again, like I said, I'm not shocked, but I am sickened and disgusted by the fact that these people did not have the courage to stand up and finally do something of significance for the collective of the black community. And yes, this was only in the state of California, but if California would have done this, this would have been the catalyst for other states to say, okay, well, this can be done. And I think that that is one of the things that held these people back from actually doing this. They did not want to be the ones to have to face the pressure from white liberals that do not want to pass reparations, no matter how they try to make it seem like they do. They didn't want to be the ones to have to face the heat and, you know, no longer get a pat on the head and a pat on the back from white mommy and daddy. So again, a slap in the face to our people, a slap in the face to the legacy of our ancestors, and again, like I said, not shocked, but extremely, extremely sickened by their actions. Do you have anything you want to add before I get into, you know, showing some of the receipts on the fallout from these bills not being passed?
One thing I do want to say, this thing was shot down by the Democratic Caucus, right?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day.
Yep.
I mean, sorry, the Black Caucus.
Black Caucus,
Yeah.
and majority Democrat.
Which, yeah, they're the majority Democrats. You might have one or two Republicans in the Black Caucus, right? You might have one. I doubt it, but you might have one. You know, the Black Caucus, just a fun fact, Black Caucus has been in existence since 1971. And I just wanted to look at from 1971 to now, black people in the United States, decline or increase of like generational wealth, health, wealth, you know, all around family life, the all-American dream. So what is the real Black Caucus like? What are they really for? That's the only thing I would like to add to that old bullshit. But, you know.
My opinion, and again, this is my opinion, but I do feel like, you know, this opinion is one that is rooted in reality. You know, it's not facts, but it is definitely my opinion. The Black Caucus, to me, are basically just Democrat shields. They're there to be gatekeepers and to keep the black community at bay while being performative and making it appear that they have the best interest of the black community in mind, which they do not.
I think anybody with a sound mind can see that. But the problem is there's a lot of people that don't have sound minds out here.
Well, that is true, but like I said, I'm very happy to see that in this year, the year of 2024, which a lot of people, refer to the year of exposure, the year of enlightenment, and we can't really argue against those sentiments, because we have seen a lot of people be exposed this year, especially in politics. I mean, this is the most exposed we have ever seen the Democratic Party.
Babe, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, look how many people still voting for Campbell.
I'm going to be very honest with you. Like I said, I feel like that entire thing is contrived, and I feel like
It's
they
not.
are...
It's not.
It's contrived.
It's
It
not.
is contrived.
Listen, I was just outside yesterday.
Someone...
I'm talking about people are painting their business buildings.
I don't really want to.
Seen it like
I don't
this
really
before.
want to argue this, because this is something that there are segments of people who will be voting for Kamala Harris. I'm not denying that, but there is a strong grassroots effort to, for one, sink the Democrats, because the Democrats are extremely disrespectful to black society, even the black Democrats. And you'll see that. You'll see that later on in the show, as like I said, begin to pull some receipts on these people and the way they just literally play in our faces. I haven't been a Republican or a Democrat for some time now, but regardless, the collective of black people still vote Democrat. And again, like I said, you do see that changing. I am not saying that there aren't any people who will be voting for Kamala. Obviously, there will be. She does have some support. But like I said, I feel like a lot of it is contrived, and I feel like it's propaganda.
You're right. So
I see people, I spend a lot of time, watching a lot of content. I'm in a lot of chat rooms. I'm talking with a lot of people online. And what I would say, grassroots black society is not supporting Kamala Harris. You do have the Boulay types and the,
That's
those
my
Divine
point.
Nine types.
That's my point.
that are supporting her.
The influential
It doesn't
black
matter.
folk.
They're not influential to the grassroots, and that is why
but
we're having this clash right now.
But the thing is, the grassroots is not the majority. If we were, this shit would be different already.
No.
We would have already turned this shit upside down.
Like I said,
if the grassroots if we had control, we would have already turned this shit upside down.
Well, again, I'm not going to argue that point. Like I said, 2024 is the year where we are starting to see a lot of drastic changes happen very, very quickly. I can't speak to if you're privy to that or not, but I know what it is that I'm seeing. I'm seeing the sentiments of a good number of people. You're having entire groups of people saying they're not voting for the Democrats. They're saying they're going to vote for the couch. Some people are saying they're going to vote for Trump. Some people are saying they're going to vote for Trump for an independent. So you're seeing people changing course on the Democrats, and the Democrats, they're well aware of that, and that's why their propaganda machine is working overtime, because they need people to buy into the fact that they have all this support. Look, it's not just the black community that's not supporting the Democrats.
20,000.
People tend to forget that there's an entire uncommitted and also an abandoned Harris movement going on right now, because you have the Muslim community and their sympathizers and supporters that are not rocking with the Democrats, because the Democrats have to hold the bag for this war in Israel, because they are the administration that is funding and supporting this war. So it's not only the black community that want the Democrats' head on the stick. There are various communities that want their heads on the stick, and that's why I continue to say I feel like all this support is contrived to a degree, because a lot of people are not supporting the Democrats.
I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you. my point is, if you can contrive the people who influence the people,
influence
you got it
what
made.
people? Because you're saying that who do these people influence?
The 60% of America that just got vaccinated. 60%. That part.
There's a lot of people that are not going to be voting for the Democrats in general.
Yeah.
The Democrats have already lost a lot of their core supporters. And then again, like I said, there's entire movements against Harris and the Democrats right now because you have a lot of things that are happening simultaneously.
I
So
agree with
again,
you.
like I said,
But
the black
my point
community is not the only community that they have to worry about right now.
I agree with you. My point is, where the power is on the Democratic side. That's where the power is. And the power moves things. That's my point.
I tend to believe that all things come to an end. That is my one of my fundamental beliefs, that nothing lasts forever. The Democrats have been able to essentially get away with a lot for a very long time because they have painted themselves as the party of the people. That could be the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, they are not the party of the people in any way, shape, or form. These people right now are showing just how undemocratic they are and how much they are not for democracy. Right. They're being exposed by the minute every single day.
And then we could really challenge that by saying, hey, listen, if average life expectancy is 100 years, which is a long fucking time in this day and age, right?
What average?
If average life expectancy for a human being is 100 years, which is a long time for this day and age.
Human beings in America?
These people don't live to see 100. Most people don't.
Oh, okay.
So that's a long time for a life expectancy, right? Okay. So let's just say you lived 100 years as normal. That's a normal lifespan. Black people have been under the rule of freaking white folk for the past 500 years. That's 5 forevers. Consecutively.
Okay.
So when we hear nothing lasts forever, we've just had 5 of them consecutively.
Nothing lasts forever, and I mean, you had people who thought slavery would never end. You had people who thought people would never get out of Jim Crow.
And you have some of those people who died in slavery. It never ended for them.
Okay, but we are not in Jim Crow or slavery. So I'm the type of person that I feel like it doesn't matter to me if I don't get to benefit the fruits of our labor, as long as I know the generations that precede me will.
You get it going. How you gonna know?
I
need my flowers now. I need to know my work was done and complete now.
Having that mindset is how you will lose every single time. You think these people who have been in power this long don't plan for hundreds of years ahead of time?
Yeah, that's okay. They can plan until tomorrow.
So they're able to implement things because they have their eye on the prize for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah,
and that's what
I could plan until tomorrow too, but I need to know that my lifespan has counted, and the only way for me to know that for a fact is for some shit that counted before I died.
Okay, well that is your perspective. That is not.
No, that's period. If you die before you know that you have to accomplish some shit, you will never know. Because you're dead, you're gone. Your ancestors, the people that come after you, your descendants will know. Sure, absolutely.
Right. And that's what we do it for. We do it for so the next generation can benefit. We cannot have this mindset of.
I want the proof. I want to know. That's what I'm saying. I want to know.
Do the work.
What I've done.
Do the work and continue the work. And pass the torch on to the next generation so that they can carry it.
And how about do the work and complete the work so the next generation don't have to do nothing?
The work may not be completed in your lifetime, but that's not a reason to have like a contentious mindset about it.
Yeah, I'm going after work to complete. I'm not going after nothing to not complete it.
I mean, we have seen things be completed, and things will continue to get completed. They will. You just have to have the mindset that you're not going to give up, and you're going to continue to work, because the generations, the work that you can do, that you can see working, is you inspiring the generations, like I said, that, you know, will be coming up after you. You can start on those generations right now while you're still alive and plant those seeds so that they can continue to water them and have the fruits of the collective labor. And that's the mindsets that we have to have. There's no way around that. But anyway, I do want to get into some videos. I don't know if you want to take a break right now, because after that, I do want to, like I said, get into showing some of the fallout that happened, you know, after these bills were not passed. And again, like I said, the California Legislative Black Caucus are jellyback cowards, and, you know, they dropped the ball, and they didn't do what they should have done for the people who worked so hard to, you know, have these bills drafted. And, you know, like I said, it was a slap in the face to these people, but these people are not giving up, and that's what I like to see. Because just because you get a no doesn't mean you stop. You have to continue to go on. And I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers the other day, Dewan B, and he was saying that, you know, you have to kind of use the LGBTQ community as not as a vantage point, but as an example of how long these people had to fight to get some rights. You know, it was years before they could get anything. You know, they weren't allowed to live in their truth and be who they are for a very long time. But they continued to fight. They continued to do things. I'm pretty sure there's people who died in the process of that struggle, but they kept the momentum going. And right now, today, that community has a lot of power, and that's an undisputed fact. They stayed the course, and they continued to do what needed to be done until they were able to accomplish some of their objectives, and that is what we have to continue to do in Black society. And I'm happy to see that there's people that's willing to continue this fight and keep it going, because it's not an overnight process. There's a lot of sacrifices that have to be made. There are a lot of people who have sacrificed in the past just for us to get some of the things that we have. And I'm very appreciative of those people, that they continue to go no matter how grim it seemed. And again, you know, that is what we have to continue to do. But I guess I'll go ahead and get into this first video. And this video, I believe it was inside the Capitol after the bills were not passed. You know, there were some people, there were protesters there that were very upset, and rightfully so, that the advocates and the activists of the reparations, I guess you could say, movement, all the work that they did, and for them to have people who looked like them, people who they trusted to do the right thing, to basically turn their backs on them, they were very angry, and rightfully so. So if we have that clip queued up, I want to go ahead and show you guys what happened in the Capitol afterwards.
These are their bills. They have their names on the bills. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Now, listen, they gonna see this and they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills, then they gonna get mad at us. They killing their own bills because they scared of the government. Okay? We don't care.
We need to
bring the goddamn bills up now.
The governor needs to understand that the world is watching California, and this is going to have a direct impact on your friend Kamala Harris, who's running for president. This is going to have a direct impact. So pull up the bills now, vote on them, and sign them.
We have the votes. We've
been waiting for over 400 years.
Okay, I think that woman said something very significant. I believe they were, you know, sending that message out to the caucus and to Governor Newsom that this is going to have a direct impact come election time, because these people have seen that the Democrats are not their friends. And this is something that a lot of people have been trying to tell black people for a very long time, that the Democrats are not their friends. The Democrats are the types of people who like to point the fingers at the Republicans for everything. Oh, the Republicans wouldn't, they wouldn't compromise with us. We wanted to do this and we wanted to do that, but we couldn't get it done because the Republicans didn't want to work with us. And that's something that they have been able to use as cover for a very long time, that the Republicans just don't want to do anything for black people. And as can be seen, when they were in a position where they had all the votes they needed to get this thing to the floor to be passed, they caved and they did absolutely nothing. So they can't blame this on the Republicans, because the Republicans didn't have anything to do with this. And again, like I said, these people are being exposed more and more every day, because their evil deeds have been a detriment to the black community. They really have. And like I said, I'm very happy to see that black people are starting to finally wake up to the fact that these people have been bamboozling our community for a very, very long time. And again, like I said, nothing lasts forever. So, the time has come where it's up to us now to make the decision to not continue to support people who do not support us. And as that woman said in that clip, this is going to affect your friend Kamala Harris, Governor Newsom, because we are not going to support people who do not support us, which is the Democrats in this case, and which has been the Democrats for a very long time. Now, as I was saying, the Democrats have been, for a very long time, pointing the finger at the Republicans, saying they don't want to work with us, they won't allow us to do this and that. But in this next clip, I want to show you guys what happened when a Democrat legislator was confronted by a Republican legislator on the floor about this bill.
Preventing me from speaking, and he's trying. I brought up the reparations vote, so he's preventing me from speaking, and he's trying to block my access here. Why are you so upset?
You vote for 3 strikes. You put black folks in prisons, but now you want to be a reparations person. But you won't vote for the bill. I supported the bill all session.
Then bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill, Mr.
Bring the bill.
Will you vote for the bill?
Bring it up.
Will you vote for reparations?
Bring it up.
I would love it.
Bring it up.
Let's vote for reparations
Bring
together.
It up. Bring it up.
You in, Bill?
Bring it up.
I didn't think so.
Bring it up. I'll vote for it. Matt, I brought up the reparations vote, so he's preventing me from speaking.
Okay, so that Republican legislator that you heard speaking in the video was Bill Effingly, and I hope I'm saying his name right. And the guy he was talking to was Isaac, I believe his name is Brian Isaac. And I don't know if you all took notice to what Mr. Brian Isaac did in this video. He tried to pull a bait and switch, and he tried to pull a Jedi mind trick on this Republican legislator. Because what he did was he immediately came up and talked about how the guy voted for 3 strikes, and which put black people in jail. And that could be the case, and I don't support that, but that had absolutely nothing to do with the topic at hand, which was reparations. And on the tail end of that video, you can hear Mr. Effingly saying, bring the bill to the floor and I will vote for it. So, as you can see, there was no Republicans blocking this bill. You just heard a Republican saying if they bring it to the floor, he will vote for it. So again, the Democrats cannot hide behind the fact that the Republicans don't want to work with them and support them, because that is simply not the case. These people did not want to vote for this bill because, like I said earlier, they know that this will catch wind very quickly, will catch fire very quickly, and will spread across the nation, and pressure will be put on other states to form these reparations bills, which in actuality are due. Reparations are due to the descendants of freedmen in America. And that is an indisputable fact. Everybody who has been harmed by this nation has received reparations, except the people who have endured the longest suffering at the hands of this American government. And again, Mr. Bryan, like I said, he tried to pull a Jedi mind trick on this man. And I'm simply just not going to fall for that, because I can see that these people do not want to vote on this bill. And even when they're being pressed and pushed to bring it to the floor, they're turning their backs and walking away because they don't want to hear it. And again, they are the ones that, have been conversing with the people all this time, and the ones that the people were expecting to actually push this forward and do something for them, and that simply did not happen. And again, a major slap in the face to the people who has put the effort in, because what we like to say a lot of times, unfortunately, in Black society, there's a lot of us that like to say, well, we don't do anything in order to get the things that we need or want. We complain, and we don't have any actions behind what it is that we say that, what we say that we want. And that is just simply not the case in this situation. These people did everything that they were supposed to do in order for these bills to be drafted. And when the time came for these people to deliver, they simply just did not do it. So we cannot put the onus on the people that put in the work in order for these things to be drafted, because again, they did everything that they were supposed to do. So, that whole notion that there's no Black people standing up and trying to get some political action going in the way of getting something done for their community, that is not true. And, I really wish that people would stop saying that, because it is a statement that just makes it appear that we don't care about our circumstances and we're not trying to change them. Now, what I want to do now is I do have a video because these individuals, and there's a number of individuals on this California Legislative Black Caucus that voted on other bills and are supporting other bills, because there was a number of bills that passed that they were there to vote for. And one of the most controversial bills right now is that the state of California is drafting a bill and is looking to have a bill passed by Governor Newsom that will provide home loans, some of them up to the tune, not loans, but loans for down payments on homes, some of them up to the tune of $150,000, I believe it is, for people who are not citizens to get homes. And this is one of the things that have people very angry from all communities. They're saying that this particular first-time home buyers program is a program that is already strained and almost depleted of funds, so they don't see why they would be including people in this program that, really don't put anything into this economy. And they're being offered all these trinkets and things for them to pretty much start a life here in this country, and they didn't follow the proper channels to become citizens. So I do have a quick clip that I just want to roll to give you guys a little bit more insight on this particular bill that the California Legislative Black Caucus is supporting. And I'm pretty sure that they will have no issues getting this bill signed. And, there won't be any of this talk about, we have to go back and make amendments to this bill and we don't agree, and we having all this infighting about this bill. When the time comes for other communities, and as of late in particular, the, I guess you could say, undocumented immigrant community, You have all forms of legislators from all backgrounds, all across both party lines, that are supporting, tangibles for these people, and pretty much kicking the American people in the behind and telling them that they need to get to the back of the line as they continue to pour resources on these people.
Now to a live look at the state capitol. Right now, California lawmakers have about 3 days to pass new laws for the year. The deadline is Saturday at midnight. Lawmakers today sent Governor Newsom a bill that would allow undocumented people to apply for the state's first-time home buyers program. That program has no money for the foreseeable future, but that didn't stop lawmakers in the state assembly from approving it in a 45 to 15 party line vote. The proposal specifically prohibits the California Housing Finance Authority from rejecting a person's application based on their immigration status. The bill made national headlines as California is facing a housing crisis with some of the highest costs in the nation to own a home.
We need to remind ourselves that we are a nation of immigrants. And here in our state, we remind ourselves all the time of the value of those who are continuing to come here and to make our economy better. So for those who are paying their taxes, who are doing things right, who have a good credit score and who can qualify for a loan, we are saying that we want you to set roots here in our great state if you qualify.
It creates more eligibility for people on a program that doesn't have any money in it already. And we're limiting the number of people that are here legally that will be able to get this program.
Governor.
Okay, so as you all can see, a little bit of back and forth there on that bill that has support. And, there's no, we got to go back and start from the top and we got to study. Because what happens with these reparations bills is when they gain traction and it looks like something is about to move and shake, they want to go back to the studying again. They're pouring money into studies when they've already studied this over and over again. And truth be told, what more do they need to study? There isn't any more studying that they need to do. Everything that they need, they already have. So again, that's a stalling tactic. But as I was saying, when it comes to people who are coming into the country, and again, we're not talking about immigrants because, excuse me, America is a nation of immigrants. Not everyone who's here is an immigrant, but America is a nation with a large number of immigrants. And no one is disputing that fact, and no one has an issue with that. We have an issue with people that don't go through the proper channels in order to come here, when you have people who do. And then the people that don't, do it the proper way, they're getting provisions over people who did do it the proper way and people who are not immigrants. So that is a problem, and it is putting a strain on the economy greatly. I was watching another show today where an activist out of Chicago was saying Chicago has $1 billion deficit right now because of all the resources that are being distributed to house people that are coming here illegally and obviously don't have anywhere to go, don't have any money. So they're going to need food and shelter. They're going to need a way to take care of themselves. And all of that is being done on the dime of the taxpayers, to the point where these cities and states have large deficits now because they're literally spending out in order to support this. And that's something that simply just cannot continue. And, Trump is promising that he's going to put an end to this, and maybe he will, but that has yet to be seen. Again, I know that I feel like this is something that we're going to see a lot more of, especially if Kamala Harris is elected, because she was the one that was supposed to be taking care of the situation, and she totally failed when it came to gaining control of the border. So I don't see why, as president, she would do anything any differently, because it wasn't important to her when she was put in charge of it. And I don't think that it will be all that important to her if she becomes president. But again, like I said, people have to get serious because this is the most important election of my lifetime. I voted in past elections, but I don't think that the issues that are very critical right now, as it relates to the direction that the country is going in, I haven't seen anything like this in my lifetime, for as long as I've been able to fully engage in the political process. So I do feel like this is a very important election that we have coming up. And, what I would say to anybody who no matter who you're voting for, the things that are important to you, you need to get out there and back it. You need to get out there and really support what it is that you want to see happen, because again, there's a lot of things that are happening simultaneously right now. And again, whatever political power that we have, I would encourage everyone to use it this election season, because there are going to be a lot of changes happening in this country moving forward. And again, whatever it is that you believe you would like to see happening, you have to get out there and put some backing towards that. But, we've covered a lot in this show tonight. And again, I want to salute the people of California for doing what it is that they needed to do to get these bills drafted. And, just continue the fight, continue to keep going, continue to apply the pressure to these people. And for those people that did not support this bill, who are up for re-election this November, if it was me, I would definitely be voting those people out. They would not be getting my support. I would get them up out of there. And, again, when people are running for office, especially in our community, we're going to have to do a better job at vetting these people, questioning them about their platforms. What is it that you support? Do you have anything that you're supporting that's going to directly benefit my community? Because if you don't know what these people platforms are and you're just voting for them based off some form of identity, then you're going to continue to see things like this happen, because you're not challenging these people in the ways that you should be challenging them. And you're not digging into their policies and seeing what it is that they truthfully stand for. And moving forward, that is something that we definitely need to do. We don't need to support people strictly based on the fact that we want to see people who look like us in political positions, because that is symbolism. And as we can see, symbolism has not worked for us, and it will never work for us. So now that we have been doing the same thing over and over again, we need to come to the terms with the fact that that has not been working for us. And, as they say, the true definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And, one of my favorite sayings is, if you want something you never had, you have to do something that you've never done. And what we have not done in the past couple of decades, well, I would say the past at least 5 to 6 decades, is we have not abandoned the Democratic Party. And it is just my opinion that we're going to have to do that. And we're going to have to show these people that we're not here to play games with them. We're not here to be on that quote unquote Democrat plantation anymore. We want to leverage our votes, and we want to be able to get policies for our votes. But again, thank you very much to everyone who tuned in tonight. Like I said, I really wanted to talk about this, as it's still in the news cycle and there's still a lot of conversation around it, because again, this is a very glaring, example of how the Democrats do not really have our best intentions in mind. And although the bill did not pass, and I'm very unhappy about that, I am happy about the fact that the Democrats were caught with their skirts up, and they were exposed to be the phonies that they are. So again, we're going to have to, come this November, the people who didn't support you, you have an opportunity to not support them. And I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Shelley Speaks Truth tonight. Again, we'll be back Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 2 Raw for TV. Thank you for watching, and good night.